So now would be a good time to grab a drink, grab a seat, get relaxed. Another 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to just start the celebration of life aspect of today.
Gave me an action to focus on. Thank you. The beautiful, the always beautiful Camille. Yes, she is. She is. That's right, boys. Start you up whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll hit record and we're good to go.
Maybe how you're feeling, maybe a thought. It doesn't have to be a long thing, it could just be a couple words. Nobody, of course, is obligated to say anything. There's no pressure, there's no right or wrong if you do say something. Again, we're all here to kind of share and share stories with each other. A lot of people here probably have hundreds of stories from being with Lori. Please do not share hundreds of stories if you're so inclined to speak. Again, maybe one or two. The idea here is you want anybody who wants to share a couple words to be able to do that. One of the aspects about Lori, and you'll hear many sides to her, she is a wonderful actress. And a big part of being an actress is really being able to be present and to listen. So now that I've already mentioned about possibly saying a word or two, I know human nature, everybody in their head is thinking, do I want to say something? What am I going to say? I don't want to say something. They're practicing a story in their head. If they are going to say something, they're going to edit that story over and over. So one way we all can honor glory right now is to really be present with each other. When somebody else is sharing a story, to just kind of be here, be with them, and just kind of be present. That in itself is a way to honor glory. Here, which is incredible. People that she loves and people who love her. So I want everybody to just feel that energy. That's kind of what today is all about. Again, no right or wrong, no pressure, but hopefully we can kind of just share whatever we want to share. I know there are a lot of actors in the room here, so I do want to reiterate the idea of not 100 stories. This is not an audition. So if you have a couple of stories, maybe just share one, and then if we have time, after everybody who wants to speak, there'll be an opportunity to share another one as well. A few logistics. There's food going to be around, so it's very casual. Help yourself, get up, walk around, just be very aware. If people are speaking, to try to be present. If you run into somebody while you're getting food or a drink and want to catch up, please do so, but just again, be aware of people speaking and be respectful of that. You can also go in the corner and catch up. There's going to be an ample opportunity to talk one-on-one with each other after this aspect of the celebration. So we'll have that after, so there'll be plenty of opportunity to talk with one another. So yeah, I think that's it. We're going to jump right in. Again, I feel the love already. Hopefully everybody will feel the love as well. The room is filled with that, and Glory's energy is here. Now the next step is we're going to, again, share stories. I'm going to share the first story. And I think in an event like this where people are standing up and sharing stories and speaking, there's only one person who could start it off and would want to start it off, and that is Gloria herself. So I'm starting off, the room is filled with her energy and love, but now we're going to fill the room with words that were written by Gloria herself. This story that Gloria wrote is called Wild Game. Wild Game by Gloria Gallo. I'm a big holiday person. I love dyeing Easter eggs, carving pumpkins, cooking enormous Thanksgiving feasts, and searching for the perfect Christmas tree. Our kids are grown up now, and many use the Sawzall to carve the giant pumpkins, but they still look forward to the traditions we set when they were little. Birthdays are no different. I'm a firm believer that they are a day that belongs to the birthday person and should be celebrated with a grand meal. The menu is handpicked by the birthday boy or girl. I'm game to make whatever they want. Soup to nuts. French onion soup for Joey at 14. Lobster bisque for Mike at 17. Vichyssoise for Adam at 19. If I don't know how to make something, I'll figure it out. Seafood gumbo, crab divine, zuppa de pesce. I file through cookbooks, search online, and make it happen. Barbecue ribs, beef stroganoff, duck à l'orange. Desserts are included too. It's a full course meal. Cheesecake, cannoli cake, Dutch apple pie. Yes, if you want pie for your birthday, cake pie it will be. If you choose a meal consisting of white starches, as my son Mikey did on his 12th birthday, cheese and crackers, mashed potatoes, white rice, corn on the cob, white cake with white frosting, that's what will be served. Sometimes spaghetti and meatballs were chosen, but not recently, not now. Now, things are getting a little bit out of hand. The boys are venturing into dining on wild game. At first it was rather tame, grilled whole red snapper, hardly wild, but not easy to find. Roasted partridge, another challenge to find, plus you need a lot of those little babies to feed 10 people. But it was the rabbit that pushed me over the edge. I opened the package expecting to see everything all cut up into neat little pieces. Instead, I found a whole rabbit in a fetal position. When I picked it up, stretched it out nearly 20 inches, I noticed it was skinned, reddish blue, with tiny front legs. I kept imagining it had been hopping around my front yard with all its bunny friends the day before. I had to search the internet to find out how to butcher the thing. I found it on YouTube. Using a large chef's knife, I tried to find the joints. It was nothing like a chicken, even though others told me it was. I cut the strong back legs into 2 pieces. The little front legs, hardly worth keeping since they're so small and kind of cute. It made me sad. Images of playful rabbits interfering with my current job. Then I chopped the long torso into 3 chunks. I almost cried. In the end, the braised rabbit was delicious. But never again. This past year, I said no to frog's legs and ostrich steak, but they're like chicken or beef, my boys pleaded. If they taste like chicken or beef, respectively, then I have an idea. Let's just have chicken or beef. Okay, so now that is kind of getting it all started here. Now, again, no pressure, maybe a little bit of pressure to get it started. Again, when you come up here, please just say your name, how you know Glory. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a couple of words, your thoughts, your feelings. Share a story if you want to, some memories, and let's keep it going. I may jump in a couple of times because some people who are not here in the room have shared some stories that they wanted us to read tonight. So yeah, let's take a deep breath together and just kind of really honor and celebrate Glory by sharing some thoughts, sharing some memories, anything that comes up. If you feel like saying something, please do. I have a little bit of a plan because I know the beginning is hard to get started. If you're still up for it,
I told you, don't give me an out.
You're not getting it out? We're going to start with Mike, and then after he's done, I don't want to be coming up here and hearing my voice over and over, saying, who's next, who's next? Let's try to get a flow. Again, it doesn't have to be a lot. Anything you want to share, no right or wrong, no pressure. One last thing on logistics, straight back into the left are bathrooms. Bar is over to the right, food is there. Help yourself at any point. It's super casual, super relaxed. We're just going to kind of go with the flow here. And just really be here and be present for one another. Okay, you're up. Also with the mic, I'll keep it as close to your mouth.
I did not want to be up here. But I also didn't want to hear Glory saying, man up, for Christ's sake. I met Glory in 1985. She was hired a waitress at the gathering. I was the manager. Her best friend Roxanne, also a manager, had been trying to set us up for a while. I resisted because I didn't think someone could be that happy and upbeat all the time. I remember the day I started to change my mind though. She was setting up for dinner hour across the dining room in these little short shorts. One look at those legs and all of a sudden I could not remember why I was hesitating. I finally built up the courage to ask her out for dinner. We talked all night, never looked back. We were together from that first date. Things went great. For many months, I still didn't feel like I could really commit because I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. I still did not think somebody could be that happy and positive all the time. But I realized that's who she was. And I asked her to marry me. She would say probably the most unromantic way possible, but not details, it'll be not in this speech. Yeah. But she said yes anyway, and we got married October 1986. We were really happy. For the next 25 plus years, she raised our beautiful kids, turned our home into Gnomes Hollow. Her traditions were huge to her. The Thanksgiving tablecloth, I'm sure a lot of you know about that. We would write little sayings on it. Every Thanksgiving, we use the same cloth the next year, and we look back. It was a great tradition. The getting of the tree, 2 days after Thanksgiving, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, Christmas tree, decorating the tree, the getting of the pumpkins, Halloween. These were all every year, could not skip. She was an amazing actress, as most of you people are as well, and she was well respected, and she was just great. She could go from intense drama to slapstick comedy and anything in between. She had a great sense of humor, perfect comic timing. Her talent in the kitchen was legendary. She learned, she wasn't a gourmet chef when I met her. She learned that and got better and better. She could taste the recipe just by reading it and understand what it would taste like, what blends together. It was amazing how she could do that. I have no idea how she did it. When I was in the restaurant business, when I met her, when I went into building, she was my supporter in chief. I always like to be learning something. Every day I was learning new things, and Lori was right there cheering me on, praising my accomplishments. And she gave me the confidence that I needed to keep pushing and learning. And I don't know if I could have done it without her support. She was there all the time. I learned a lot of costly lessons. We struggled through a lot of tough times. She was there. She would always be there. At the end of the day, with dinner on the table, lots of hugs and encouragement. She would help me when I was behind, and she wore the tool belt on many occasions. She helped me build decks. She did roofing. She did sheetrocking. She was a great wife, great mother, and that was her calling. People that she invited into our lives with zero hesitation can attest to her generosity. She would call her pseudo kids, Noah, Emma, Michael, Danny, Sammy, and several others that stayed with us for periods of time over the years. Never with a question or any hesitation. She was spirited, loving, nurturing, strong, intelligent. She could also be fierce, especially when protecting our family. She made a big guy from the Bahamas, I think he was crying when Joe and I got hit on a jet ski, and this guy comes down and was asking, some drunk guy smashed into us, and the guy comes down and starts asking her who's going to pay for the damage. And she lit into that guy like, I swear to God, her left away crying. She was fierce. People saw us as the perfect couple, and we saw ourselves like that. Neither one of us thought anything different. We had our ups and downs like anybody, but mostly us. I left Cozumel 8 years ago for reasons that don't matter today. But I kind of kept myself at arm's length from a lot of people who I liked and considered friends, but I felt Lori needed her tribe, and I wanted to give her that space. She deserved her people. So I think I kept her at arm's length, and I realize now it was more to protect myself. The feelings I had, and I still had, they all came back like a flood when she went in the hospital. So we came full circle this past couple weeks. And last time I visited her, I was there for several hours helping her organize her things and doing some business on the phone. We had a nice, really nice visit. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was sucking in my life again. You know, we were there again, we were us again. And it was really healing, full circle. So as I walked out of the room, I'm in the doorway. She said, Michael, what? She goes, I love you. And I turned around and said, I love you too. She was the love of my life. She always will be. Her signature is on my arm, and it will be there until the day that I die. That's my glory. Thank you.
I have nothing. You may cry, and a lot of people cry. And that's all, again, everything is okay. Crying, letting go, not crying, it's all good. I forgot to mention when I read that story, that was a book project that I've been working on, and we had 20 writers. And Glory actually submitted 4 pieces. We're going to share 2 other pieces that Glory wrote. That was one of them. Yeah, let's keep it going. I'm not going to keep jumping up here. I just wanted to share that. Please just, yeah, thank you, Kim. Thank you.
Poor Scott.
Thank you, yes.
Stop being the empathy. I know, I just have to say something, okay? Yeah. Oh, good. All of the, what we call our goddess group of women are here, but I just wanted to say one individual thing. Lori, so many stories, so many rich experiences with Lori. But the first time I met her, and the first moment that says everything about Lori was when we were going to see a theater show. I didn't know her at all. Pam Lincoln, an actor, coach, put us together. We're going to go to a show. I'm sitting in the old Volvo station wagon on a passenger seat, and she ran in to get something, and it was mud season. It was like now. It was just mud season. The windshield was coated with mud. And I'm sitting there, and it's almost like I can't see anything because it's just covered with mud, the windshield. All of a sudden, I hear this BAM! And she had thrown this huge chunk of snow on the windshield. And at that moment, I fell in love with her. And I thought, this gal's a problem solver. So from then on, it's just more of that in beautiful, different ways. But she will be greatly missed.
So I don't know how many of you know about the goddesses. We were a pretty important part of her life for many years. The way it started was Susan was getting married, and a whole group of us actors were sitting on a table, and one of them is starting to take the ribbons, to make the hat for the bride, in the paper plate. And I turned to Lenny, who was doing it, I said, "Oh, you look like a goddess." And I said, we're all goddesses. And from that moment on, we became the goddesses. And it was a group of women who solved problems, listened to one another, laughed. We had sleepovers. We had, New Year's Eves with our husbands. Yes, I country invited them out. But we went away many times. We had
ladybug fights.
One quick thing, there was a place that we had gone to. It was a friend of Glory's house, and that year it happened to get flooded with ladybugs. And so ladybugs became very important to us. But I really didn't have anything prepared, but I just wanted us all to be here because we're going to miss her. And it's been many years since we've all been a full group, Glory being so far away, but we remember her so fondly. Lots of laughs.
So, Lori, as you probably all know, the consummate hostess. So we had a sleepover at Lori's at Gnomes Hollow. So who names their houses? Names her house, and it fit. But we had little presents in the guest rooms. Like everything was perfect and welcoming, and even the coffee, she had special tricks to make her coffee, and just to see her on stage or to be on stage with her was always an experience, as you know. And I remember my husband and I, and I'm sure many of you, I think Mike Golan, we ran into in the pizza place before. We went to see Glory's one-woman show. Why I Hate Angelina Jolie, I think was the name of it. And I always admired her as somebody who, look, she took the bull by the horns, took risks. Some worked out, some didn't work out, but she was always up for an adventure. And to create a solo show in New York and invite people to see it, that was a big deal. And she was gorgeous, and it was funny. And I think Angelina Jolie has had her due now. So I really don't have to pay her anymore. But, Glory, here's to you. What a talent and a friend. Seems to be holding the mic.
You can just put down and then the next person. Yeah.
I need to put the mic down. Someone has to
Oh,
take
yeah.
it. Okay.
There you go.
Wait, there you
Perfect. Thank you.
My name is Jen, and I knew Lori for a long time. I was inducted into the Goddesses when I was about 6 or 7 months pregnant, and at the clam bake, and Lori came to my rescue when I was trapped at home with my 2 little kids, and she showed up with a box of cereal and just planted it on the outside of my door, and I thought, I'm saved. And she also gave me a sister's guide to facial hair. And that was really important. I grew up with brothers, and I didn't know how to manage this. I thought a unibrow and a mustache were standard, and Gloria educated me, and now they're not.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right. This is very painful.
Hopefully I can keep my act together here. I got it sealed. Signed, sealed, delivered. All right. Well, do I have to use the microphone?
Yes. Who are you? Keep it close.
Hi, I'm Lisa, I'm Lori's sister. And I just want to say hi to everyone. Where's my husband? Eyes on you. Eyes on you. Courage. I need courage. Okay. On behalf of my sister Gloria and my family, thank you all for your love and your support you have sent our way over these past weeks. Your support means so much to us and have made the unbearable bearable, including that camera right in front of me.
It's not there. It's not there.
Writing this tribute for my sister has been a lot like being stuck in Midtown traffic. There's just so much I want to say about my sister and the amazing human she was, but I think that we would need an extra 4 hours here to even scratch the Glory story. Yes, as everyone knows, my sister could cook. Creating her glorious meals was her essence. Okay, many of you have been the lucky recipient of the birthday meal, which we want to discuss, but here we go again. Whatever dish you wanted on your special day, you got it. From the meal to the table setting, only excellence. She deserved a Michelin star for her special occasion meals. Surely there are younger siblings in the house, so you can relate when I tell you, growing up, I aspired to be like my sister. She was brave, beautiful, funny, damn it, intelligent, creative, and a bit wild. She was the first to call Paul McCartney, he's mine, she would say, when the 4 o'clock movie Beatles came on. 4 o'clock, I don't know if any of you knew, 4 o'clock Beatles shows came on, the movies. So Gloria would call Paul McCartney, he's mine. And I would get stuck with John Lennon or Rita. And let's not forget Davy Jones, she got him too. As a younger sister, I was the main character of her sometimes cruel but always hilarious jokes. No one could hook me in better than her. But she would make it up to me by somehow talking me into being the one to go downstairs and make peanut butter toast. Oh my God, she's so much fun. She had that big sister thing down pat. It was her permanent servant. I was. This is your side of the room, this is mine. Stay out of the closet, you can move into the little closet, which I did for a short time. Okay. I wanted my own space, so I moved into the tiny little closet that was like a 4x4. Okay. And that lasted for a day, and then she said I could move back in to the room that we shared. Okay. Anyways, fun times with my sister. They were never ending. We would go shopping together, go out for lunch, watch storms. We were big storm people in this family. We like extreme weather. Bring on the snow, the wind, thunderstorm, gale force winds. Just don't let anything happen to our friends' family or houses. So we always had a good time playing cards, laughing, dreaming about where our life was headed, and also wondering if Paul McCartney really made a mistake when he got married and he was supposed to marry one of us. I'll miss my special bond with my sister. Thank you for always being there, Glor. You are my best friend in life and in spirit. Rest easy, sister. We all love you.
Peter Wood. Good afternoon, everyone. This is all so bittersweet. If there was ever anyone whose name was better suited to them, it's hard to imagine. Great beauty, magnificence, or high renown won by notable achievements. That's the definition. This woman was a glory to behold in so many ways. We all know Glory from our unique and varied relationships. Many of us knew Glory from her work on stage, both here and in the city. Glory was one of the most fierce and generous actors I've personally known and worked with on stage. The more edgy the character or risque the scene, the more brave and honest was her commitment to the moment. She brought a spark and swagger to the stage and was a joy to play with. I first met Mike and Glory at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Stratford in the early 90s. We, and many of you here, were part of that community and the amazing music scene at that church. When we began doing community theater productions there and then moving on to other venues, Glory was a frequent leading lady in shows throughout Fairfield County and could be counted on for her raw and realistic portrayals of deep emotional honesty that resonated with audiences. Despite her memorable moments on stage, her greatest passion was making a home and being a mother bear for her kids, which numbered from 3 to 6 or 7, depending on the year. Glory and Michael have huge hearts and generosity and shared their love and hope with everyone who came into their lives. I was among the many, fortunate enough to share beautiful and delicious holiday meals in the Gallo home, as you've heard about and will probably continue to. Glory was in her glory every Christmas, decorating their home to the hilt and playing Santa for extended family and friends, unlike anyone I've ever known. Glory was, of course, as you've heard, an amazing cook and could prepare a Thanksgiving dinner for 25 or 30 or more and a special birthday dinner for whatever was requested, which in my case was wild duck one year. She didn't shoot the duck. She got so much pleasure hosting from friends and family, and we were all the lucky ones. Those were the halcyon days before the kids grew up and circumstances changed for Glory and Mike. Life brings trials to all of us, and leaving family and friends to make a new start was unbearably challenging, even on an island paradise. But I'll be forever grateful for being best of friends with Glory and Mike for so many years, and countless hands of spades after a sumptuous dinner and a toke or two on the deck. Here's to you, partner. May you rest in power.
Hi, everybody. My name is Debbie, and I'm Michael's older sister and Lori's sister. And I'm going to tell another Thanksgiving story. Sorry. But okay. So one of my favorite memories of Glory is the Thanksgiving that Michael and Glory were renovating their dining room. And I remember, Glory tells the story much better than I do, because that was why it's my favorite story. They were renovating the dining room, and they finished at like 11 o'clock at night. And I remember Glory saying that she stood up and was like looking out the sliders and saying, "Oh, thank God we finished." And then she said, "What is that shiny thing in the backyard that the moon was shining on?" Sorry. And turns out she had a turkey in the cooler brining. And they had 3 dogs at the time. And the dogs knocked the cooler down the stairs and ate the turkey. So she had, at 11 o'clock at night, no turkey and 3 drunk dogs. So she went out, of course, as Glory would, to Stop and Shop. And this was probably the funniest part of the story. She was going down the aisles and looking for turkey and said she stopped dead in front of the turkey case. There's no turkeys. So she was at the customer service counter and they sent her to another store. But she was like, "I have 25 people coming and no turkey. What are you going to do?" So she did manage to find a turkey. And we went on to have one of the best Thanksgiving meals ever because they always were. So.
So Deb said that Lori tells that story even better. And actually, one of the stories that Lori submitted and that I was going to read at the end is her version of that. So we will compare. I'm going to share that at the end.
I had that in print for many years now.
Okay, so we're going to compare those. So I know most of you are sitting there and are in your heads thinking, am I going to get up there? What am I going to say? Even though we've talked about this, we all do it. Do I really want to say something? What story am I going to tell? If you are doing that, which I know most of you are, come back here. Come back into the room. When you're ready, if you want, walk up. You're going to have to walk up anyway. Then your time to think of what you want to say and just speak from the heart.
I'm up here.
Oh, you're next.
Hello, I'm Mark Kessler. I don't. Who is this about? I'm sorry. I don't think I know her, but I came for the food. No. Anyway, I met Glory about 20 years ago. I joined Emerging Artists, which Glory was kind of the mother of the company. So I knew her pretty well from a distance. And she was kind of famous there at the time. And a couple of years later, we were doing a short play festival. Glory ended up not being in it. And I had a play in it, but there was a third play in the evening I was in that had to cancel some performances. And I went to Glory and I said, "Look, I have a play. Let's do it together." And so we did it for 2 performances, then we ended up doing it for the final performance anyway. But it's how she and I really became close. And it's just amazing to me, the life that I had with Glory. I am very proud of the fact that my partner Tom and I actually signed the Thanksgiving tablecloth. I did manage to get to the last clam bake after many, many years of trying to get there and not getting there. I also directed her 2 one-woman shows, including the one that she wrote, Why I Hate Angelina Jolie. And we were very close, and she would call me from Mexico, and she'd say, "Oh, you have to come." I said, "But Gloria, I hate Mexican food." And then she'd go into this whole long diatribe about, "Oh, well, no, Cozumel has all these great foods, and you have to, so we could do this over and over again. Anyway, I miss her, and I did just go. Thank you. Rest in peace.
Okay, thanks. My name is Mike Boland. I'm a friend of Glory's from the acting circles, and I figured I'd come up so you didn't have to come up anymore. Gloria and I met doing a play together in 1997, and then we sort of went our separate ways for a little while. And a couple of years later, she had this annual clam jam party or whatever it was called, and it was really great. And I got there, and she's like, "How's the acting going, Mike?" I'm like, because I had just gotten out of rehab, and I was really sensitive, and I couldn't like pass any auditions very well. So I said, "I don't know, Gloria, I'm in my head. I'm up there, I go to auditions, I feel like a phony, a fraud, I'm in my head." And she said, "I got just the thing for you." And she took me to this acting class in New York. "Hey, what's up, buddy? You can be next." She said, "I got an acting class for you in New York." I'm like, "Acting class? Let's not get, too crazy here." But I went with her, and it changed my life, As a matter of fact, there's a table full of them back there, the Shenzoites, who came in from New York. And this was 2003, and I went in and I took that class. And, I met people that will be in my life forever. And I met opportunities that will be in my life forever. And I remember it was a really intense, really competitive group, and you really had to be good when you showed up and did some prepared work. So Gloria and I were going to do a scene together from a Neil Simon play called Broadway Bomb, and we updated it a little bit so we didn't have to worry about costumes and stuff. And there's a part of the scene where I'm coming into the house, and she's playing my wife, and basically I admit to an infidelity, and she smacks me. Or at least I don't know if in the script she smacks me, but I said, "You got to smack me." And she's like, "No, I can't do it." I said, "Well, Gloria, are you committed or what? You got to smack me." I said, "Anybody would smack me in that moment." And she's like, "All right, I'll do it." And she's like, "Do you want to roll? Do you want to practice?" I said, "No, just hit me when I'm not expecting it." And I'm thinking, I'm a pretty tough guy. I used to, box. I had 3 brothers. I used to fight all the time. So we're doing the scene, and the scene is cooking, man. It's going great. And I go walking in, and she confronts me, and I said, "Yeah, I did." Bam! She hit me right in the ear. I almost went down. And I'm thinking, I'm so tough. This middle-aged woman's going to knock me out in front of all of my friends, And it was everything I could do to stay on my feet. I'm like, whoa. And I made the scene, it was so real. Everybody in the class was shocked. Like, "How'd you guys do that?" I go, "Well, she just belted me." And she was so apologetic later. I'm like, "Look, we were great." I wouldn't want to do that every night on stage, but she was something. She really was. And she appeared in my life at a pivotal time where I could have gone one of many ways. And she helped me find the right way. And for that, I'm grateful.
Hey there, everyone. My name is Nicholas Myers. This is Evelyn, my wife. I've known Glory since I was 10 years old. I was in Indian Guides with my kids, with Mike, and my father was there too. And yeah, we used to hang out all the time. Back porch during the summertime, we would play high-low, Jack 95. For some reason, me and Evelyn never won, so they were good. There are many stories that I could tell, but there is one story that really sticks out in my mind, and Evelyn is really good about telling it, so I'm going to pass the mic over to her. I'm going to step back.
Hello. So if you don't know, Nick's mom, Lori, was really good friends with Lori, and so was my father-in-law, Ed. And they were in Mexico together. They lived in Mexico, and I got to know Mike and Lori and their kids through many dinners at Mount Hollow, and I admired so much her, just the way she loved to host people and gather. I do have to say that. I love her a lot. And but I have to tell you something. Lori and Glory were really good friends, and they happened to pass away a week apart from one another. And I really believe that they're somewhere in eternity pulling hijinks, because I will never forget, I told Lori, my mother-in-law, I said, "Lori, we really want to do something nice for you." And they had moved to Mexico, and they had left Lori's mother's ashes behind at our house.
So we were caring for it until Lori and I could decide what to do. But Lori is just such a great friend, right? Lori is such a great friend that she got in, I don't know whose red convertible, picked up my mother-in-law, they went to Home Depot, picked up flowers, and I had said, let's just pay for the ashes to get buried. And my mother-in-law goes, no, we own that plot. Why do we have to pay $1,000 to bury those damn ashes? So Glory picks up my mother-in-law, they go to Home Depot, pick up some flowers, get some whiskey, makes grandma's favorite cocktail, a Manhattan, and they they go to the cemetery, they bury a hole in the cemetery, like they're planting flowers, but really they're pouring whiskey into the ground. And burying them in there. And that's what kind of friend that Glory was. Get into hijinks with you, wipe your tears, tell you to toughen up, and make you a great meal in the process. And we wanted to share that story because she was just that kind of person. So we love her. Thank you for sharing her with us.
Glory, first of all, wherever you are, I never went to one Thanksgiving dinner or one clam bake. What because I have to tell you, the man that sat down before me is my son, don't ask, and she is my daughter, because in theater, these are the things that happen. She's only 9. I never heard her call me anything else but Mama. So once again, what about the Thanksgiving dinners and the clam bake? I'm good. I'm not. I don't really have any stories about Gloria, except that I know she never called me anything but Mama Love from the time we worked together in a little piece called Slaymont in 2008, which we revived very briefly in 2023 for Emerging Artist Memories. And I will remember you and love you forever. And if you had to go before your mother, which you should never have to go before your mother, you needed to go. And wherever you are bringing light and love and fun to any place your spirit inhabits. I love you.
Okay, there's been a few people talking about theater, so I think what Gloria would want me to do right now is to read a couple of reviews of her, stellar reviews, when she did Welcome to the Woods, which my partner directed. So I'm going to just read, every review for the show was amazing. I'm just going to read 2 excerpts of 2 of them. I think she would want that at this point. What a surprise to walk into the Wheatson House Gallery, where the floor has been covered in dirt, for a genuinely fun, funny, and interesting evening at Welcome to the Woods. Translated from Alex van Ramadan's original Dutch script by director Erwin Maas, Welcome to the Woods becomes a twisty, offbeat examination of the perils of being a woman. Though their performances seem effortless, Welcome to the Woods is impossible to imagine without the specific qualities the trio of actors bring to their roles. Gallo is an immensely likable performer, warm and vulnerable, even as she argues against her best interests. Balancing her nicely is Riker's tart presence. The image of her tromping through the dirt in heels is indelible and very, very funny, which prevents the story from tipping over into maudlin, Maud fairy tale. And Jonathan Green is a delight in his various guises. Another one, Glory Gallo portrays Dora with ease, bringing nuance and heart to the character. She fits into Ramadan's world beautifully, embracing unusual moments with honesty and genuine delight. You fall in love with her desperate attempt to escape a much-dreaded life, and by the time you find out what is inevitably predetermined for her, the temperature in the gallery will drop, and not because of an adjustment to the thermostat. Robin Riker is also superb as Fanny. Riker conveys all the conflicting emotions of this silent monster, a woman whose middle name should be manipulation. The two women play off each other like Agassi and Federer. If word of mouth is still what packs a show, you better hurry if you want to experience witty, unusual, and honest theater. We got some words sent to us by her two co-actors in that performance who wanted to share, us to share something as well.
Hey everybody, my name is Erwin Maas and I worked a lot with Glory in the theater and she also invited me into the family. So the other two actors wrote something which I'm going to share with you before I'll share something from myself. Robin Riker, currently in Los Angeles, wrote the following. I have a picture of Glory and me that has been sitting on my dresser for 1,000,000 years now. It's from our time together in the theater with Scott and Erwin, a play we did called Welcome to the Woods. In the pic, Glory and I are kneeling on the forest floor, sipping water from our hands. And inside, we are laughing. Whenever I think of Glory, I think of her smile and her laughter. We were always laughing. At rehearsal, after rehearsal, at a bar talking about rehearsal or life and love, or sitting at her dinner table celebrating a Glory-us Thanksgiving dinner. And yes, I say a Glory-us because it was and so was she. Over the years, every time I glanced at that picture, I thought I should give her a call, laugh a bit and catch up. But I didn't, and now I can't. One of life's bittersweet lessons. You better live me now, because now is all there is. Glory, you left us too soon, but you were always a strong-willed person and you did what you wanted to do. So perhaps you left us at just the right time for you. After that delicious Thanksgiving dinner, we all took a walk in the woods near our home and you guessed it, laughed a lot. Funny, bright, and beautiful Glory. From now on, I shall always envision you sipping water from your lovely hands in some celestial woods and laughing. Johnny Green, who's currently in Australia, wrote the following. I worked with Glory in a bunch of class exercises at Columbia University and stage productions. Glory was just great and such a pleasure to work with. She was always game and open to trying strange and interesting things, taking risks on stage. And that is not something you often find in an actor. I remember one of the first pieces we did together that had us wearing bunny hats for a bit of Long Day's Journey into the Night, I think it was. And of course, her work in the drenching rainstorm scene Erwin created for Brimstone and Treacle. There was a lot of water and Glory got very, very wet, but she was an excellent sport. That was Glory, always ready to find the game and fun in the work. Glory always had playfulness about her. She was lustig, as my clown teacher would have said. Farewell, dear Glory. And then I myself went through some emails over the years of 25 years that we've known each other. And these are some of the emails that she sent me that really make me see who she is for me. March 21st, 2008. Darling man. Hi Erwin, my favorite Dutchman. I just wanted to say how incredibly happy I am that you and Scott have found each other. It truly feels like a meant-to-be scenario. You are right, he just glows with warmth. And I love your new friends too. I could have easily spent the evening in everyone's great company. Hope the play was wonderful, by the way. Much love and happiness to you both. XOXO-G. September 18th, 2009. Welcome to the Woods tentative schedule. I don't think I could be any more excited. Welcome to the Woods, honey. XOXO, Mom. April 2nd, 2014. So sweet. My beautiful Dutchman. What a wonderful note I received today. It's not right that I should get a love note from you on your birthday, probably before my own birthday card for you even arrived. But thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see you before you leave for Holland, if not, certainly after. Love, 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 kisses, hugs, and more love. Oh, and happy birthday, XOXOXO. This is who Glory really was for me, and we're going to miss you. You invited me into your family when I came to the States and hardly knew anyone. I will forever be grateful and always remember the wonderful and warm Thanksgivings, Christmases, and clam bakes in Connecticut with the family, which gave me a feeling of having a home away from home. You were my surrogate U.S. home. I fondly remember our theater collaborations together. It was always a joy to have you in the rehearsal room, and I'm proud of the many projects we did together. You were the life of the party, a mother figure to many, and a joy to watch on stage. Oh, and food. There was always food. In rehearsals, on train rides, at your house, you took care of our souls and our bellies. It's the final curtain, but I know you will rock on and shine bright wherever it is you go. 3 Dutch XXX from me, your favorite Dutchman.
They should have called it the clam jam. That was a wasted opportunity. Can you hear me all right? In the back? Yeah. A little closer? What? Like this? What? How's this, right? I just wanted to start by just thanking you on behalf of my entire family. This has been a couple weeks of unexpecteds. The reason why we're here was not unexpected, but there's been a lot of really wonderful unexpecteds. For instance, the Facebook post I made announcing the loss of my mom, Glory. I did not expect so many people to respond, and I did not expect the profound effect that she had on so many people's lives. And I did not expect the profound effect that every single one of you who are sitting in here had on her equally. I did not expect that someone can share that much love. I did not expect that somebody can carry that much love in their heart. I did not expect to see this many people in this room. I did not expect to hear such beautiful stories. I think that's about it, but I'm going to leave you with a couple of additional, a story, a statement, and a question. How's that? So the story involves me and my little brother, Mikey. Where are you at, Mikey? There you are. We loved each other all through our lives. He's my best person in the world, dude. And Mom helped us get that close. But we also used to fight like cats and dogs when, sorry, I'm having a little trouble keeping it together. We used to fight like cats and dogs because we were 6 years apart. And there was one particular summer where we fought so much, it was driving my mom. Patience of the saint. Just kidding. No patience ever. Patience of the saint. She lost it on us one day. And believe it or not, my mom never cussed around us. That might surprise every single, another unexpected, right? Like, she never swore. Up until we were 18, and then she let her rip. But we were fighting. And we're sitting on our front deck. You remember this, Mikey? Where are you? Yeah. And she had it. There were no babysitters. There was no daycare. There was no nothing. It was her and us. And she burst through that screen front door on Elmhurst Avenue. Remember that door? She burst through it, and she goes, "Guys, stop fighting.
stop fighting now. And Mikey said, like, but he. And I went, but he. And she went, I don't give a flying fickle finger of fate. And we lost our shit, pardon the expressions. Didn't work. Didn't work. We lost our shit. We lost it. Mike started laughing. I started laughing. Mom started laughing. And she just said, I'll screw it. And she went inside. Or she said something, but just stop fighting. So that's one story. I'm going to start with the statement, okay? Mom had lots of wisdom. I know you all know this. She said lots of smart things. But this might be the smartest. It's better to burp and taste it than fart and waste it. She told me that when I was like 9, and I was like, wait a minute. If I were to examine this, most of the time it's true, right? The other one, if you've got like a weak stomach, please cover your ears, because I'm not telling you this. This story's not for you. So this is when I was first introduced to the concept of a catch-22. We all know what a catch-22 is, right? Like you're in one bad place and you have to make a choice between that bad place and another bad place. Well, usually people are introduced to it by the book, Catch-22. The way that my mom introduces to me is as follows. Cover your ears now when you're ready. Let's say you were chest deep in a pool full of boogers. Sorry. Warning. And a giant bucket of vomit was going to get poured on your head. Should have done the fart thing last. Would you duck? Or would you just take the vomit? Actually, I think it's good that I finished it out, right? Because then someone's going to want to come up and do the thing. That's it. Again, I'll close with gratitude and unexpecteds. I'm not overwhelmed, but I am certainly whelmed at this. Everywhere I look, I see a different face from a different part of Mom's life. You know, I see, can you raise your hand if you're from the Connecticut theater scene right now? Can you raise your hand? So we got a beautiful scattering of hands here. Can you raise your hand if you're from the New York acting scene? Can you raise your hand? Can you raise your hand if you're family? Can you raise your hand if you are friends just from random places? And I'll leave you with this. Can you raise your hand if your life was deeply affected by glory in some way? Take a look around. That's our legacy right there. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Pat Spalding, known affectionately to the Gallo family as Pats. So we talked about the clam bake a little bit. It was an amazing thing that we did for several years. Now, at the end, I'm just going to jump right to the chase. At the end of every clam bake, Glory did her own version of the cremation of Santa McGee. So, in honor of Glory, I will jump in. I won't start at the very beginning. This is my interpretation of her interpretation. I will only come close to the cremation of Santa McGee. He turned to me and, Cap, he says, I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request. Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no, that he says with a sort of a moan, it's the cursed cold, and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet 'tain't being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains. A pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore I would not fail. And we started on at the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh, and he raved all the day of his home in Tennessee. and before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left. Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried, horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the slate, it seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brains, but your promise true, and it's up to you to cremate those last remains." Now a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were numb, in my heart, how I cursed that load. In the long, long night by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows. Oh God, how I loathe that thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavier and heavier grow, and on I went, though the dogs were spent, but the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in, and I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake LaBarge, and the derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. But I looked at it, and I thought of it, and I looked at my frozen chum. "Then here," I said, with a sudden cry, "is my crematorium." At which point everyone gently. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. The flame just soared, and the furnace roared. Such a blaze you seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I did not like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the grassy streak in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out, and they danced about, ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, "I'll just take a look inside. I guess he's cooked," and it's time I looked. At the door I opened wide, and there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile, you could see a mile, and he said, "Please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you're let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plum Tree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm." Thank you. Thank you, Lord.
This is probably a really big mistake. I was really bad at this. Oh, I know. Okay, I'm Becky, and I'm her longest friend. Trying to get through this, I'm not sure if I can. Murder was about 20, I was about 22. And we were at a restaurant, and Gary worked there too. And one day, this was a great family-owned restaurant, and one of the things they served was big cracker ribs, and they came on platters that were huge. And I had a tray that probably had 4 or 5 of them on there, and I came whipping out of the kitchen, and I dropped it. And I didn't know Glory, and the boss looked at me and was furious, and Glory and I just busted a gut. We were just sitting there laughing our butts off. Boom, we just knew right then and there that we were going to be friends. So we went out that night, and we became friends, and she was living with somebody else at the time. And I just remember one time, shaking hands, we read Amityville Horror to each other, chapter by chapter. We're sitting on the couch, and I would read, and I would get so into it, I would go, and she'd go, what? So I would finish it. We got so scared that
We didn't even know how to get off the couch. And we ran into the bedroom, and I never went home that night because I couldn't even drive home. Right after that, we moved in together. Gary did too. And we lived at a great little place. And I'm not going to tell Opie stories, but Glory, I don't know if anybody remembers Opie, the smartest cat in the world, the cat that could catch and play hide and go seek. Well, we weren't allowed to have a cat. Gary, do you remember that? So we would throw Opie in a clothes hamper if their landlord was coming over, and Opie didn't mind. And we would throw clothes on Opie, and off Opie would go. So I don't remember what happened to Gary at some point. He moved out of this. Gloria and I decided that we wanted to go to Europe. So we were working 3 jobs. We worked at Mr. Peabody's, and we worked as cocktail waitresses, I believe, and something else. Anyway, we saved enough money and we went to Europe on Euro passes, jeans, flannel shirts, backpack on our back for a whole month. And that was quite an experience. We stayed in hostels, we stayed with friends. It was really a magical time. I do have one story though. We were in a hostel, and I don't remember what country it was in. And I don't know if anybody remembers Lori's contact attacks. Contact attack! And we went into the hospital, and we were past curfew, of course, and that's a big no-no. And all of a sudden, Gloria, right in the hallway, and it's like, contact attack! So here we are, in the dark, crawling all over this hostel to find her contact, which we did, luckily, because she couldn't see without. And one other memory from Europe was we were in Paris on Thanksgiving, and we were sad. We were homesick. And later on, we looked at it and we went, oh my God, we're like, oh, I can't believe we're so broke, we're not at home. I'm like, wait a minute, we're in Paris. At a cafe. But it was just part of the whole deal. So afterwards, we came home and our restaurant burned down. So at that time, Mr. Glenn came in and sort of saved Lord. That's when the family moved here to Connecticut, and which was meant to be, obviously. She met her husband, Mike, she had her beautiful children, had her beautiful life, but we never lost contact. And I did go to a clan date. That's all I have to say. She was my
Okay, we're going to go a little bit longer. I know after Adam's booger vomit story, everybody mad at the food. But if you're over getting some food, just try to keep it down a little bit. We got a couple of other people who sent stuff in from Lori's little island in Mexico. Well, actually, first, Adrian from California wrote about her trip there. She just sent me a couple lines, so I'm going to share that. And then a couple of people who shared some things from Mexico. Let's keep the energy going. Let's keep focusing on why we're all here, honoring and celebrating Lori. And then if anybody else is going to want to share something, we're going to kind of keep it going here. So, yeah, Adrian from California said, seems like yesterday Lori welcomed me to her little island in Cozumel. Mexico was in her blood. She was the best dancer and loved to eat Mexican food. We had a lovely time together in the glorious sunshine, matched by Gloria's sunny and generous personality. I miss her so very much. Now, when we first visited Mexico, we met two of Gloria's adopted nephews, and they each sent some words in from Mexico that they wanted us to share today. First is from Ricardo. He wanted me to share with everybody here today that Glory touched many hearts, but I don't think she realized how far and how deep her teachings went. From Veracruz, Mexico, I can tell you that it was a special connection when my brother introduced us. She quickly said to me, "I will adopt you as my Mexican nephew." Every time I visited the island and greeted Glory, she was always so generous. She loved cooking for you, talking about the future, and always had the right words for every moment. My first swimming lesson in Punta Sur was with her and Mike. My 21st birthday was very special because she and others made it so by taking the time to come and celebrate with me. Without a doubt, Glory was an amazing person. She could talk about anything and always had an answer. Her altruism, her humor, her way of seeing life. Without a doubt, Aunt Glory's affection crossed borders, and she will always be remembered with so much love. Ricardo's brother, Mario, shared these words from Mexico as well. "I met my auntie at the Money Bar, and from the first moment we met, I felt that beautiful energy from her soul. I'm so grateful to the universe for allowing me to meet this wonderful woman. She loved to watch me play the drums and loved to help, loved to assist at every gig in all of the bands I was a part of. I will never forget the super famous MC Sangha, the way she smiled every time we said hello, and the most important thing, I will never forget how she opened for me and my brother her house, her heart, and her soul. I love forever, dear Auntie. Dance in heaven till we meet again." I feel like I'm kind of losing the crowd a little bit here, so I'm going to share one story from me. Then Mike, you guys are going to go next, great. So one story. Again, if you guys are eating food, awesome. But just trying to keep it down just a little bit so we can kind of all be present here. One story that I want to share personally, it was back in 2013. It was actually my partner Erwin's birthday, but he was in the Netherlands. So Glory called me and said, "Why don't we celebrate the day together?" So the two of us went to the Botanical Gardens in the Bronx. Then we went to a dinner in the city, and then we went to a show on Broadway, Hands on a Hard Body, and we had great seats thanks to Theater Extra, TDF. We had a few drinks at dinner. We got to the theater early. We were chatting, getting ready for the show, and as we were sitting there, 4 women came into the theater and sat right behind us. We could tell from their conversation as I was talking to Glory, she was totally listening to their entire conversation. It was the first time they had been in New York. They were talking about what they were planning on seeing, what they were planning on doing. I saw Glory half listening to me, but way more listening to the people behind us. They were super excited to be here, but they were all not sure what to do. After maybe 2 minutes, Glory turned around and introduced herself and started having a conversation, telling them exactly where they should go, where they should eat, what they should do, what they should not do, and they immediately felt the stereotype of people from the New York area was completely not true. As the curtain was ready to go up, I had to keep them quiet because they were just talking nonstop in the theater. Intermission, they kept the conversation going, and then after the show was over, all of us were talking, they exchanged numbers. To this day, Glory kept in contact with our friend Elizabeth, as did I, and she also sent something in. I think it's a very good story, epitomizing who Glory was, wanting to share stories, wanting to be helpful, just randomly talking to people, and then that person became a friend for life. Just from that moment in the theater. Elizabeth shared that she can't believe that Glory and her stayed in touch all these years just from that one Broadway show that we met at. She shared that she was always so kind to her, so supportive and happy for her daughter and all of her accomplishments. She felt like they were closer than they even were, even though they only met that one time. Glory made her feel like she was cared about. I miss her. I wish I could have known her even more. I told her she always was welcome in our home here in San Diego, and I wish she would have taken me up on that. My daughter would have loved that too. her bond from that one moment we met, I felt immediately. So yeah, I just wanted to share that, and now pass it on to, yeah. Okay, are we feeling the love? Are we feeling the stories? Can all be here? Here she comes. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sherry Kelly, and I just wanted to tell a little bit of story. I met Glory when my daughter, her name is Nisha, and I started kindergarten at Blackhawk school. And I remember meeting Glory the very first time that I went to that school. And so when we were leaving, she became an instant friend, of course. And when we were leaving, I said, "Okay, Gloria, it was nice meeting you." And she said, "Gloria? Where's Gloria?" I said, "Wasn't that your name?" She said, "No, it's Glory. You know, like the glorious thing." And I just laughed. I'm like, "Okay." So she was really a very, very good friend. We were friends for about 30 years, and it was wonderful. And I miss her a lot.
We're going to have Mike speak for a minute, and then we're going to take a little bit of a break for about half an hour so everybody can mingle a little bit. And then anybody else who's going to want to share a story is going to be welcome to come up. Again, it could be a story, it could be a memory, it could be a couple words, anything that you want to share. But again, after Mike here, we're going to take a little bit of a break, everybody can mingle, get some food, and then we'll go from there.
I'll talk where everybody's eating, but my name is Michael. I am one of Glory's pseudo-sons, as there are many and not few and far between. I'm really nervous, and this isn't something I'm used to, but with all the actors and actresses in here, I couldn't be called a wussy, you know what I mean? The first thing that I notice here is how big the family section is. It most certainly is great to see everybody. I wish it was on other occasions, but I love you all very much, and I'm happy to have been able to make it myself. Before I was able to call myself part of the Gallo family, it was very interesting being one of Mikey's friends. It was a very different way of parenting. She would go to New York City all weekend and let us do whatever the hell it was that we decided to do. It's incredibly different from where I was calling home at that time. It was just out of control. So, that kept me there for quite a long time, and throughout that time, and including the time where I considered myself family, there was a few things that Glory taught me, and that I continue to try and instill in my own family and my daughter. She told me that no matter how hard that you love someone, if they don't reciprocate that same love back to you, that you just can't be offended by that. Everybody's different. And that you have to love everybody in your own way, and however they love you back, that's how they love you back. And don't look too far into it. The other thing is that I mentioned this on my Facebook page, is that she was truly the person that taught me that it wasn't about how you failed, it was about how you came back from that failure. And I really think about that every day of my life, because I, as my family knows, am prone to making terrible decisions. I tell my daughter, and I could ask her to recite this right now if I called her on FaceTime, and I ask her every time, I say, "Capri, if you fall, what do you do?" And she says right back to me with the most confidence, "You get back up." And that's truly every time she says it, I think about Glory. Glory was true to the saying that it takes a tribe, but she was one of many. Unfortunately, some have passed, but Mr. or Mrs. Flores, from what we consider also to be a part of Gnomes Hollow, I'm not sure if they're here, but I love you guys very much, and we miss Mr. Suarez to deep inside of our bones, and I know that he's there to greet Glory wherever the hell it is that they are, and I wasn't here for his funeral, but I loved him very much, and I know that she did too. Some of those other people on that list are Mrs. Catalano, Mrs. Murray, Mr. and Mrs. Suarez, Mrs. Ferraro, Mrs. Alexovich, of course, Mrs. Carol Pulavia, and Mrs. Komorowski as well, and I'm sure there's some that I'm missing, but Glory was in a class of her own, and she was joined by all of these wonderful women that I consider as second mothers, including my own. Emma, Kim, Shayla, Angel, Eden,
that you guys got some big shoes to follow, but I know that you guys are going to have no problem filling them. I hope that you take all of her lessons and the time that you have with her and continue our family. And I'll be at every goddamn gathering. I love you all. Glory made it true that it isn't blood to be family, and I'm proud to call each and every one of you people at this table as my family, and I love you very much.
I'm done. Thank you. I'm not used to people coming and calling out.